Oh, sudden death of DJ Kid Craddock is certainly a wake-up call for a lot of families.
No kidding. It puts planning for your family into perspective as well. Steve Noviello's here with some helpful advice. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you both. My guest this morning is Dallas attorney Rebecca Covell. She's an expert in estate planning, probate, and business law. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Steve.
You know, a lot of folks think that they've got plenty of time to get around to this. You know, they think I'm young, I don't have kids, I don't own a lot of property. You never know, though.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's what I'm sure Kid thought when he went to that golf tournament. He had all the time in the world, and for his family's sake, I hope that he did a little pre-planning.
Yeah, he definitely did. But for a lot of us, we probably have not. So I think that people are overwhelmed sometimes by the idea of estate planning. It's not that difficult.
No, it's really not. There's so many opportunities for someone to meet with an attorney who does a lot of estate planning. It doesn't have to be a big firm. You can go into many small firms or solos. I'm a solo attorney. Check out someone's reputation and sit down and ask them the questions that you have. It doesn't have to be an intimidating process.
How simple can it be? I mean, are we talking about, can I just jot something down on a cocktail napkin and sign it and that's my will, or...
Some people think they can, Steve. The issue is it going to be enforceable? Because, you know, your will is like a parachute. It's only going to be needed once, but you sure want it to work. So you want to be certain that what you're doing is right. And the beauty of it is Texas has a very easy probate system. You can have a streamlined will and get through the system relatively painlessly and inexpensively if you have a correct will. And to have a correct will, it has to meet the formalities that Texas law requires. So it's really worth your while to sit down and talk to a lawyer who does estate planning.
We hear a lot of people who say, okay, but I'm going to go online instead. I'm going to print out a form somewhere. What do you think?
Well, DIY, do-it-yourself wills are probably one of the biggest banes of the administration system. Not lawyers. It's, you know, pay a lawyer a little bit now or pay him a lot later. Because if you die without a will or one that you've created yourself, those are the most litigated wills in the probate system. They're usually not either executed correctly, they don't have the right language, and they can't take advantage of the express probate administration that's available in Texas.
So we're talking about possibly a huge expense later on when you're probating the will. What should the investment look like for folks at home who are saying, okay, but what should this cost me?
Well, that's a good question, but it's kind of like asking me how much a car is. Do you want leather interior? Do you want all the whistles and bells? So I would recommend you find an attorney you can sit down, do a free consult, look through what your options are, and get a price quote. Most attorneys who do this will give you a flat fee price before you sit down and engage them. I would say, I'm just giving you a ballpark, I would say an individual with no children or no whistles and bells required is going to be way less than $1,000.
What's the bare minimum that everybody watching right now should have in terms of an estate plan? 3
documents. They should have a will, a medical power of attorney, and a statutory durable or business power of attorney. If they have children, they ought to have a declaration of guardian. It's also a good idea to have 4 or 5 others that we could talk about one-on-one when I know a person's circumstances.
You know, and when we're talking about folks that are tuning in, and again, today this is all about kind of starting this dialogue. What's the call to action for someone who says, okay, what do I do next?
Ask your friends, ask your family, or find an attorney that either you know from personal connections or do your own research and make the call. Pick up the phone and make the call and meet with someone who does estate planning and find out how inexpensively and quickly it can be done. It can be done inside of weeks.
All right, Rebecca Covell, my thanks for helping us to start that conversation this morning. More information about estate planning when we link you to the office of Rebecca Covell, PC, right now, myfoxdfw.com.